Hey, so all this stuff we've been looking at about moving better and feeling better, I've been like really digging into it, and I'm finding all this cool stuff about movement patterns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even about like specific exercises.
Yeah.
It's more like how our bodies are designed to move.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like totally changing how I think about everything.
I can imagine.
So get this.
Okay.
There's this whole concept of like movement language.
Movement language.
Yeah. So like, you know how we learn new words to express ourselves better?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out our bodies are kind of the same way.
What do you mean?
Like the way we move or like don't move can actually affect us like down to a cellular level.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, they call it mechanotransduction.
Mechano what?
Mechanotransduction is basically like our cells respond to physical forces or something.
Huh. So it's like what you do with your body, your cells actually feel it.
Exactly.
Wild.
And they had this crazy example about orcas, the whales. So like if you limit an orca's movement, like keeping it in a tank, its fin can like deteriorate.
No way, really?
Yeah. It's like our bodies need all these different movements to stay healthy.
That makes sense.
It's like just like our brains need new words to like, stay sharp. Our bodies need new movements.
So like if sitting at a desk all day is like only using the word yes,
Yeah.
we need to add more words to our movement vocabulary.
I love that. So what kind of words are we talking about? I'm picturing like interpretive dance or something.
Uh-huh. No, not quite. Think more like simple but impactful.
Okay.
One of the experts recommended like just getting off the ground more.
Seriously.
Mm.
Like just sitting on the floor.
Yeah, even just spending like 20 or 30 minutes each evening sitting on the floor can do wonders for you.
What's so great about that?
Well, it can help decompress your spine
Okay.
and improve hip mobility, especially after sitting in a chair all day.
That makes sense.
Like, think of it as hitting the reset button on your posture.
Okay.
Plus, so many activities use ground-based movements, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah, true. Like yoga and martial arts and stuff.
Exactly.
It's like relearning how to move in a more natural way.
Right.
So this is making me think about the gym.
Okay.
Like, what if we thought about the gym the same way? Instead of just lifting weights, what if it was more about exploring movement?
I love that idea.
Like using the gym as a diagnostic tool
Yeah.
to like figure out where we might be limited.
Instead of just focusing on building muscle,
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to how your body feels during each exercise.
Oh, so it's like turning your workout into a body awareness lab.
Exactly.
Cool. So instead of like a muscle factory,
Uh-huh.
it's more like you're investigating, what's going on in there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Use the gym to identify any imbalances, too.
Imbalances.
Yeah, like between your left and right sides.
Yeah, interesting.
Like, for example, if one hip feels tighter than the other during squats, that's valuable information.
Okay, so it's like turning your workout into a treasure hunt
Yeah.
for areas that need a little extra love.
I like that.
This is blowing my mind.
I know, right?
Okay, so what about warming up?
Okay.
I usually just like stretch a little before I'd hit the weights.
Well, this is where it gets even more interesting.
Oh boy,
We often forget about warming up our nervous system.
our nervous system, like our brain needs a warm up too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of just stretching muscles, try incorporating like 5 or 10 minutes of dynamic movements before your workout.
So like what kind of movements?
Oh, like throwing a medicine ball,
Okay.
jumping on a mini trampoline, or even just some playful movements.
So ditch the static stretches and get playful. I
Exactly.
like that. It reminds me of foam rolling,
Yeah.
which I've been meaning to do more of.
Foam rolling can be a fantastic tool.
I hear it's good for more than just sore muscles.
You're right.
But isn't it supposed to hurt?
Not necessarily.
Right.
If you're experiencing a lot of pain, it could mean your brain is perceiving stiffness as like a threat,
Interesting.
Try incorporating slow and controlled movements
Yeah.
and focus on your breath.
So it's about like learning to communicate with your body.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. It's a whole different approach to movement.
I like it.
I think you'll really enjoy exploring this.
I think I will too.
There's so much to learn.
Yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Well, I can't wait to dive in deeper.
Me too.
This is going to be good.
Absolutely.
This is making me like rethink how I even approach movement in general.
In what way?
Like I've always been so focused on like the end goal,
Mm-hmm.
like getting stronger or losing weight or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've totally missed like the journey part of it.
The journey.
Yeah, like just like moving my body and learning how it works.
It's easy to get caught up in the results.
It is.
Hmm.
And I think somewhere along the way, we lose that like playfulness we had as kids.
Oh, totally.
Remember like climbing trees and running around?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We used to move in so many different ways without even thinking about it.
We did.
And like now we're all stiff and stuck in our routines.
Yeah, it's like we forget how good it feels to just move freely.
Exactly. And that's what I'm loving about all this stuff we're talking about.
What do you mean?
It's like challenging all the conventional wisdom about movement.
Oh, I see.
Like even something as simple as a warm-up.
Yeah.
You know how we were talking about warming up the nervous system?
Mm-hmm.
Some experts are saying that like shorter, more intense warm-ups might be better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, than those long, drawn-out routines we're used to.
Interesting.
So it's not just about following some formula.
Yeah.
It's about like experimenting and finding what works best for you.
Tuning into your body.
Exactly.
Mm.
Speaking of tuning in,
Okay.
have you ever noticed any like asymmetries in your own body?
Asymmetries.
Yeah, like imbalances between your left and right side.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We all have them to some degree.
Oh, okay.
But they can become more pronounced if we like favor one side over the other.
Now that you mention it, I do tend to favor my right side.
You do.
Yeah. Is that like something to be concerned about?
It can be.
Really?
Those asymmetries can lead to like pain, decreased performance,
Oh, no.
even increase your risk of injury.
Wow.
But the good news is that we can address them through movement.
Okay, so like what more stretching and foam rolling?
Well, those can be helpful, but it's important to incorporate movements that challenge those asymmetries
I see.
and help rebalance your body.
So like what kind of movements are we talking about?
Well, the gym can actually be a great place to do this.
Okay, but how can I use the gym to like diagnose and address these imbalances?
Just pay attention to how your body feels during different exercises.
Okay.
Do you notice one side feeling tighter or weaker than the other?
Hmm.
For example, if your left hip is tighter than your right,
Yeah.
focus on exercises that improve internal rotation on that side.
So it's like using movement as a tool to understand our bodies better.
Exactly.
This is fascinating.
It really is.
It makes me realize that movement is about so much more than just physical health.
Oh, absolutely.
It affects our like mental and emotional well-being too. Like when I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, a good workout or even just a walk in nature can like totally change my mood.
It's powerful.
It is. And it makes me think that like even things that we don't think of as movement could be good for us.
What do you mean?
Like I was reading about how some experts consider even the sauna a form of
Oh,
movement.
sauna.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's not about physically moving your body.
Right.
That it's about creating a physiological response
I see.
that challenges your system.
So it's like expanding our definition of movement.
Exactly. It's not just about going to the gym or going for a run
There's so many different ways to move our bodies.
and reap the benefits.
I'm really liking this approach to movement.
Me too.
It feels so much more sustainable.
Yes. Than like that go hard or go home mentality.
It's not about pushing yourself to the limit every time
Yeah, it's about finding a balance that works for you and your lifestyle.
and listening to your body.
Exactly. And giving it the rest and recovery it needs.
Rest is so important.
I know. I used to think rest was like for the weak,
Uh-huh.
but now I realize it's like essential
It is.
for long-term health and well-being.
It's about respecting your body.
Working with it, not against it.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning.
I know. There's so much more to explore and discover. To wrap things up,
All right.
we'll give everyone some practical tips for incorporating all of this into their daily lives.
That sounds great.
I gotta say, this whole deep dive has been like a total game changer for me.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's like a light bulb went off or something.
That's great.
I'm seeing movement in a totally new light.
I know what you mean. It's amazing how just like shifting your perspective a little bit can make such a big difference.
Seriously. And you know what's really stuck with me?
What's that?
That whole idea of using the gym as a diagnostic tool,
Oh, yeah.
it just takes the pressure off, you know?
Totally.
Like I'm not so worried about achieving some crazy fitness goal.
Right.
It's more about understanding my body.
Yeah, like what's going on in there?
Exactly. And it's like fun too.
Yeah.
Like turning your workout into a detective game,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
looking for clues about how to move better.
Your body is like a puzzle.
It is.
Yeah.
And the coolest part is you don't need any fancy equipment or expensive tests.
Right.
It's just about paying attention.
How you feel.
Yeah. Noticing any limitations or imbalances.
Your body is constantly giving you feedback.
It is. It's like learning a new language or something.
It is.
So, okay, let's say I'm ready to put all of this into practice.
Okay.
Where do I even start?
Well, start small. You know, pick one or two things you want to focus on and like gradually incorporate them into your routine.
So it could be as simple as spending a few minutes each night sitting on the floor.
Exactly.
Open up my hips.
Uh-huh.
Or like maybe adding some dynamic stretches to my warm-up.
Yeah.
or focusing on my balance during my workouts.
Those are all great ideas.
It's about those little consistent actions.
Yeah. Like small changes lead to bigger changes.
Exactly. And before you know it, you're moving in a totally new way.
It's amazing how that works.
It is.
Yeah.
It makes me think about that concept of training for longevity.
Ah, yes.
It's not about being a super athlete or anything.
Right.
It's about building a foundation for, like, a lifetime of healthy movement.
So you can keep doing all the things you love.
Exactly. Like playing with my grandkids or going hiking or just, like, moving through life with ease.
I love that.
Me too. And it all comes back to those small, consistent actions.
It does. What's one small change you can make today to start moving better?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to think about that.
I think you'll come up with something good.
I hope so. This has been so eye-opening.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I really am. I feel like I have a totally new understanding of what it means to move well.
That's awesome.
And it's not just about physical performance, you know.
What is it about then?
It's about feeling more connected to my body, more energized, more alive.
I hear you. It's like rediscovering the joy of movement.
Exactly. And the best part is, it's a journey that never ends.
So true.
Well, I can't wait to see where this journey takes me. Thanks for sharing all this amazing information.
Of course. My pleasure.
And thanks to everyone listening for joining us on this deep dive into movement.
Move well, live well, everybody.